Today, David is inspiring a famous song.
Steadily depressing, low down mind messing, working at the car wash blues.
As we zoom in on the guys working here, it's obvious there's something rather different about David.
Oscar. No towel for me?
David.
Thanks.
Yeah, in medical terms, David would say that he has a serious lack of melanin. That towel Nazi considers it a character flaw. Oscar, our man with the mustache, sort of feels like he needs to apologize for his coworker. But we know David's attitude about such things. Just go with it.
Oh, listen to them cats cook. Hey, Mama, why don't you run away with me and forget about him?
I suppose the main reason is because unless he sells it to you, running away together like that is more commonly called car theft. That's DJ. He really likes David.
Yes, I understand. Just a minute. Oscar, get someone on the vacuum truck there.
David, that's you.
And hurry, we have a big important car with a big important person inside.
Well, look what they're hiring now.
He also treats David as though being white is a mortal sin. Honestly, remembering this time period, after 15 years, white people were still grousing about the Civil Rights Act and all the rest, and if anything, racial unrest got worse for a while. You had white people huddling together in the suburbs, and people of color huddling together in the cities, and never the twain shall meet. I think David missed that part because he's just naive enough to think that people are people. Some are worth your time and some aren't, and you can't tell by looking. Even so, he's pretty sure he's not interested in being friends with a guy who keeps a panther in the back seat.
Man doesn't like anyone inside this car but me.
It took the crew 2 days to clear all the panther poop out of the vacuum. Ernie Hudson is one of my absolute favorite character actors. Even when he's evil like he is now, if that smile doesn't make you smile, you didn't see it. He basically never wanted to do anything else. He started out as a playwright and only secondarily moved into acting. Somewhere along the way, he shaved his head for a stage role and decided he liked it. So do we. Last I heard, he's doing a series on BET called The Family Business. Every so often, I really wish I was still interested in watching television. I might get cable again to watch him in action. Maybe not. Anyway, I break out in smiles every time I see him on screen. Even today when he's not a nice person.
Hey, Mike, come here a second. I want you to clean this chrome inside here, okay?
Oh, yeah, sure thing, Mr. George.
You're not afraid of Huey, are you?
Nah.
Maybe not, but I'd be insisting he point Huey the other way before I do anything.
Here, Mike. Get something for you and Bobby, okay?
Thanks a lot, Mr. George.
Okay. He's a good kid.
He won't be for long hanging around you. Mike is clueless. Mr. Taylor George gives him money all the time and never asks for anything. He doesn't think that's suspicious. Tony Burton has an amazing story. In high school, he excelled at boxing and football. He quit school and became a professional boxer. His record was decent, but nothing about him really stood out. Matches became infrequent, and so did money. He made some bad decisions and did 3.5 years in prison in Chino, California for robbery. He said it was the best thing that could have happened. He got his diploma, but more important, he took acting courses and found his calling. When he got out, he started doing small parts at theaters around LA and eventually blossomed into the terrifying guy we're looking at right now. He died in 2016 at the age of 78. He's a genuine success story, and he proved that nobody is beyond redemption. They just need to find the right way to go about it.
That's some car he drives.
Sure is.
Must really be expensive to customize it that way.
Oh, you think a brother can't afford it, huh?
No, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, you think a white guy can't be curious about what a fancy car costs?
Taylor George can afford it.
That and a few more just like it.
When I was young, I used to work for a cat like Taylor George. I did time, and he walked.
That's a word to the wise, Mike, but he's too busy nursing grudges.
This man's different. He don't ask for nothing.
You think he does you favors because he likes you?
Look, he knows I can't get a job in some air-conditioned office downtown like some folks.
Lighten up, man.
Are you working here because you fell behind on your Mercedes payments?
No. I'm working here for the same reason you are. I need the money.
Mike doesn't have a chip on his shoulder, he has a log. He's convinced that for whatever reason, David is slumming.
You ought to cool it, man. He ain't done nothing to you.
Anybody that messes with my main man is messing with me.
Explain to me exactly how he messed with anything. He asked some very normal questions and you went off the rails. Funny how his two pals also see it that way.
Welcome to the neighborhood. I hope he's dealing with you.
Come on.
It's a pretty bad one, but David is on the job.
Look, he's gonna need some first aid, right? I think Mrs. Dennison probably has a kit in her office. Get it, will you?
Well, get your butt moving. You heard the man.
He's too busy being amazed that some random white dude knows what to do. Soon enough, David has the cut packed, wrapped, and okay for now. Somehow, Mike wound up being his nurse.
I think you ought to see a real doctor, man. I bet he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I happen to agree with Mike. I think that you should let a real doctor look at this. It's okay, though. I was a medic in the Army.
I don't know if he was or not, but it always makes a good cover story for when you know more about medicine than the average person.
See you tomorrow.
David. You could come by my place for dinner.
Some other time, maybe.
My folks are out of town, and there's nobody there but me and my little brother. And I'm sorry about what I said today at lunch. Maybe I can make it up to you.
Okay.
We're going to learn that he and his brother don't have any parents. Dad took off and Mom died. We're also going to learn that no matter what he looks like, Mike is only 16. That explains why someone like Taylor George can get his hooks into him so easily. Stuart K. Robinson was really only 24 and just getting going in the acting biz. Once again, we see this show taking someone new and struggling and giving them a chance to shine. Mike is our main character today.
Okay, try it now, Jimmy. Okay.
In 1979, you could still fix a car that way, and you didn't even need a computer. It helped that in 1979, the word computer just meant who they blame when the bank puts the wrong amount in your checking account.
Hey, Mike. Missed you the other night.
Oh, I was busy.
It'll be even better tomorrow night. Who's your friend?
David Butler.
Jack Williams. Got a few of the kids in the neighborhood learning some basic trades. Car repair, carpentry. Helps them find a profession.
Come on, David.
Why is Mike acting so embarrassed, not to say guilty?
I've been waiting 10 minutes.
Oh no, you poor thing! How can a delicate little waif like you stand the suspense? Here, let David take a look at it. You may have a condition.
Sorry.
What's he doing here?
Oh, he's just gonna have dinner.
He does have a condition. It's called arrogance. He's the flunky for a rich guy, so that makes him important. He's leaving, and that's good. As I said, Mike is our main character today. Well, he and Bobby.
What?
We got company. His name's David.
Hi, Bobby. Well, you look nice and warm.
Yeah, Mike let me wear his bathrobe.
Yeah. He's always wearing my clothes. Dumb, huh?
Oh, not really, no.
Well, little brother, I brought you your robe from the laundry.
He had to send a bathrobe to the cleaners? What did Bobby spill on it? Or do in it?
Feeling any better?
Little.
You should have seen him this morning. I guess the aspirin helped.
And do you have a fever?
He was real hot and sweaty.
Take his temperature?
We don't have a thermometer.
There's more to Bobby than meets the eye, that much is clear. Ever the defender of the weak, David will take a special interest in him. Outside, Reverend Jack is still working on Jimmy's car.
There. That ought to do it. Okay, let me try it, Jimmy. Where'd you get this?
What? There's enough pills there to supply the whole neighborhood. What did Jimmy think he was going to do with all that? Whatever he had in mind, he shouldn't do it. The yellow ones look exactly like the ones I was hooked on for 2 years in my own teen years. Jack has had it with Taylor George.
I thought I told you to keep your poison away from my kids.
My poison? I don't see my name on this, Reverend.
Your name is tattooed in needle marks on arms all over this neighborhood.
Reverend, you must have the wrong man. I run a respectable business.
I'm sure he does. It's what he does other than that business that the Reverend has a problem with. He gives a warning and leaves.
Hey, how's the main man this morning?
Hey, DJ.
How are you? How's the rest?
Hey, really good. I owe you, man. Hey, you ever see an elephant hair bracelet?
No.
It means we got this bond. Strong, like an elephant. I got it from a real good friend.
You want me to have it?
That's the point, man. You give it to someone you want to protect.
They've both discovered that David is for real. They don't know everything about him, and they don't need to, but they know that what you see is what you get, and what you see is a friend.
Hey, Mike, Mr. George wants to talk to you.
Hey, come for me, will you?
Sure.
He hops in the car and goes off with George. A little bit later, almost as if on cue, he gets a phone call that says it's urgent. David takes it.
Something's wrong. I feel really sick.
Well, did your parents leave the number of a doctor for you to call?
No. I I never felt like this. Shaky all over. Dizzy.
Bobby, lie down right now.
Mike knows what to do and I don't.
About what?
I'm scared.
All right, Bobby, listen, Bobby, I'll be over there in about 5 minutes. We'll both be over there, okay? Just lie down, okay?
Good thing they just got back, eh?
Mike? I'm looking for Mike.
You're looking for Mike, huh?
Hey, hey! Now, wait a minute. Look, I'm not looking for any trouble. I just want to find Mike, okay?
You want to find Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike! Now let's go! Oh,
Mr. George wants you to stay away from Mike.
Or not. Mike's brother is in real trouble, and these guys won't give David a chance to tell him. To everyone's horror, he starts the conveyor with David still on the hood.
You're a good kid, Mike. Why don't you take this money? Get something nice for you and Bobby, all right? I want you to remember what I told you now, okay? It's not hip to talk to no strangers, okay?
Mike is wavering a little. He knows David is good people and can be a good influence. It's almost as if Mr. George wants to control Mike's whole life or something. Congratulations, Mike, you figured it out. DJ is trying to find a way to stop the belt, but Lee locked the control box and beat DJ up, so that's out.
She is, the sunshine of my life.
I'll bet that makes that woman feel special. But she's in this purely for the money and creature comforts. Keep the jewelry coming and she'll do whatever he wants. She doesn't mind playing second fiddle to a car. The Hulk doesn't think that's right. He's taking steps to move her up to first fiddle. I seriously considered using this clip right here. But I decided that might be a little too silly.
Look out! Look out! He's coming this way! Look out! It's a giant! It's a green giant! Get it away!
He's not just running from the attention. He remembers that there's something he needs to do.
man, now that's what I call a colored man.
I don't know if you could get away with that today or not, but it's easily the best line in the episode. It was delivered perfectly by character actor Michael D. Roberts. Like many other guests on the show, he hadn't been around all that long, but he was working steadily as Rooster, the street-smart guy who supplied Beretta with information. He's another gentleman who never wanted to do anything but act. He fulfilled his dream, and as far as I know, he's still living it.
Bobby? Bobby? Bobby?
No, it's not a drug overdose. It's an insulin overdose. The boy is diabetic. That's why David is looking for the needle mark on his abdomen. That's where you usually inject insulin. And pardon me, but that is one heck of a big syringe for one heck of a small boy. David finds a vial in the refrigerator and a fresh syringe and administers the whatever it is.
Bobby, it's David.
Now, look, I want you to eat this orange, because it'll bring your sugar level back, okay?
Okay.
Bobby, why didn't you and Mike tell me the other night that you were diabetic?
Mike said if anyone found out, they'd take me away from here.
He's probably right. They're two minors living on their own. Your average state's child protection agencies tend to frown on that.
Well, it must be very, very difficult for Mike. I mean, working all the time and trying to take care of you.
Mike takes real good care of me. He makes enough money at the car wash, and Mr. George helps.
What does Mr. George do?
He gets my toys, insulin stuff. Please don't tell Mike I told you. Please don't tell anybody. I promise I'll be better tomorrow.
David agrees on the condition that he can go buy Bobby some actual good food. No more candy bars. An insulin-dependent diabetic and a candy bar. Isn't that a bit like water and electricity? Not a pleasant combination. For reasons I'm a little fuzzy on, he climbs the fire escape and peeks through the window.
You know, David, I'm gonna tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I like you. And I want you to be my friend.
After what Mr. George said, Mike has gotta love that. Bobby can be David's friend, but he can't.
Well, I'm very flattered. Thank you. As a matter of fact, here we go. For you.
What's this for?
Well, someone told me that is a sign of friendship. And I'd like you to have it.
Boy, wait till Mike comes home and sees this.
He was also told you give it to someone you want to protect. Protecting someone vulnerable like Bobby isn't second nature to David, it's first nature. Mike knows it too. Like a lot of people in his situation, he's at a big crossroads in his life. The trouble is, it's coming way too young. He's not equipped to handle things like this yet.
You want to talk about frustrated, man? That place over there is supposed to be mine. With the kids. He bought it out from under me. I got evidence on him, and I still can't go to the cops.
Why?
Law of the street. I go barging in there, 100 of the kids will call me a fink. Lose them all.
I wonder if he's tried showing them what he has and asking for their backing to make it right. Don't be a single-handed fink. Be the leader of a pack that's going to correct some things in this neighborhood. That's how you circumvent the law of the street. You get the street involved.
Damn it, Lee. I'm getting tired of the Right Reverend getting all the good talent in the neighborhood.
Don't worry about it. This will take care of him. I was an expert in the Army.
A demolition expert.
They hold funeral services. You don't have to worry about cremating the remains.
He wants to plant it himself, but George says no.
You and me are too old. If we get busted, we're gonna do 20 years or worse. But the kid, even if he do get busted, he's just gonna do a few months in the reform school.
He'll also do the rest of his life knowing he killed a good man. But that doesn't matter. Mike is just little people. They're expendable.
It's none of your business where I was.
Mike, Bobby almost died last night of insulin shock.
But he didn't.
Well, you weren't home at all. I know because I was here. Do you understand what's happening?
Why worry about it, man? My folks will be home in a few days.
I know about your parents.
You gonna turn us in?
I don't want to, no. But if you're gonna be a father to Bobby, you're gonna have to accept the responsibility.
Yeah, like my father did for me.
No, dummy. Better than that, because you're better than he was. If you weren't, you'd have let the county scoop Bobby up a long time ago.
Look, David, you don't know anything about it. I've been taking care of Bobby since I was 10.
And you've been doing a good job, too. But in fact, you're 16 years old. Even though you may look older, it's too much responsibility for anyone to handle. And you can get help, like Reverend Williams.
Taylor George is helping me. You know how? With money. It's just like he says, money is better than anybody's help.
That depends on what you have to trade for it. Money is a medium of exchange. You use it to buy things. Taylor George has obviously been buying something. He just hasn't told Mike what it is yet.
Well, Taylor George is going nowhere but down, and he's going to take you with him. Don't you remember what Oscar said? He was the one that went to prison while his main man got off scot-free. Now, believe me, Taylor George, one of these days, is going to start collecting his IOUs.
Yeah, I believe I just said that.
Look, just stay away from Bobby and me. We don't need you, and we don't need your help.
When David was talking with Bobby, he said something important that went by fast. Taylor George also buys his insulin.
Your fever's going down. That's good.
I'll get it. Maybe it's Davy.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi.
How you doing? Good. Everything going all right?
Yeah.
Those IOUs David mentioned, he's here to collect. He has a delivery job for Mike.
Reverend Williams is expecting a package from me. And I want you to take it.
Sure. Reverend Williams, what kind of package?
What difference does it make?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I just don't know.
Well, you know, hey, I've been keeping you and Bobby alive around here, Mike.
He says, you owe me a lot, and it's time to pay up. I think Mike is hearing David and wishing he'd listened to that voice in his head instead of this one.
Didn't you hear from the drugstore this morning, Mr. George?
Yeah. I called to make sure that Bobby was going to get his delivery tomorrow in time for his insulin shot.
Where's this package?
Yes, he'll go so far as to threaten to cut off a little boy's life-saving medication. He needs to meet the Hulk. They sent Bobby into the next room, but he heard everything.
Don't go.
Bobby, I told you, I've got to go.
Why?
Because Taylor George said so.
David says he's not a nice man.
The man's been good to us.
We don't need Taylor George.
Oh, yeah? Where would we get your insulin from, Bobby? Look, if we go to a doctor, there's going to be a lot of questions. And they won't even treat a kid without a parent's consent. We don't need any reminders. Just forget about David.
Mike's conscience is screaming at him so loud, he probably didn't even hear that song.
Bobby. Hey. Look, I'm not mad at you, man. Honest, I'm not mad at you. It's just that I get scared, too, sometimes, you know? I love you, man.
No, I'm not going to ruin that moment with a clip from an old commercial. Mike heads across the street to get the package. George told him to be there at 2:45 and deliver the package by 3 o'clock.
A simple delivery, Mike. Just want you to make sure that you get there and make the delivery before the Reverend comes out of school. Now, he finishes his talk about 3 o'clock. We don't want to keep him waiting. There's one other thing. Be sure to be a half block away at 3:05. Okay?
And he just told him what's in it. Mike realizes this isn't a delivery, it's a hit. David is ignoring what Mike said and checking on Bobby.
Bobby? Hey. What's the matter? Bobby, what's the matter?
David, it's Mike.
What about him?
Taylor George was here.
David has to go stop Mike before he destroys his life.
Yeah. Yeah, David. Yeah, we'll be right there.
Don't worry. Do whatever you have to. I'll see that Bobby's okay. Go, go, go.
And one time in his life, he's calling for backup. The lady goes by Mother, and I'm pretty sure she owns the car wash. She obviously makes a habit of taking in those that nobody else wants and making them feel like family.
You just stand near the door and keep quiet. No offense, man, but with that face of yours, ain't nobody gonna be saying nothing to nobody. You dig?
Yeah.
Come on, Oscar.
Look, I can go in there.
Say what?
Look, I'm already a two-time loser, right? My parole says no contact with ex-cons. Lee, he spent more time in the Slam than the Birdman of Alcatraz.
After that pretty speech made back there, I don't believe this.
Look, I got kids of my own.
Hey, don't worry about it. It's okay, all right?
We each gotta do what we each gotta do. Oscar's situation is understandable. But if he's helping to take down a major drug operation, I have a feeling his patrol officer might forgive a little, contact.
Hey, what's happening, my man?
Nothing.
Yeah. You seen Mike around? We're trying to find Mike.
No.
Yeah, well, it's real busy at the car wash, and I was figuring maybe you might have sent him on an errand or something.
Wrong thing to say, DJ. You just told them you know. And they know you know. They don't like it when you know.
Hey, I just want to know where Mike was. Listen, push me around. We're looking for Mike. Now, obviously, he is not here, so we will just leave.
You're David, right?
Yes, that's right.
Friend of Mike's.
We work together. Come on.
So, come on, David. I want to ask you some questions.
Now, look, I told you we'd leave without any trouble. Hey, wait a minute. We'll just leave, okay?
No, you won't. They haven't figured out yet that Lee gets his jollies hitting guys like that. He throws David into a restroom and locks the door. Seconds later, he lets Huey in. In case we forgot, Huey is the Panther.
Leave DJ here with me. Got a few questions I want to ask him.
We need that clip because of what he did with the gun. DJ insists they're just here looking for Mike. Period, paragraph, end of story. I'm not sure what that van has to do with anything. Was he hoping to toss it in there? Whoever owns it might object to it getting blown up. We won't actually learn what he did with it, but there won't be any explosion. Except maybe that one. Remember when George put his gun away?
My gun!
I think he's decided he shouldn't ought to gone and went and done that.
Get away from me!
The dumb ones always go up. Where's he expect to go from there? Well, once the Hulk gets done pulling that scaffolding out from under him, there's only one place to go.
Oh, gonna swing around gently.
Yeah, but you did it on purpose. Him not so much. Guys like George and Lee get a little power and they forget they have human bodies that are just as breakable as anybody else's. I think Sia would tell you to hold on with both hands next time. If he saw what was happening, he knows the big green guy is on his side. The Hulk hears the sirens and takes off.
Hey, you came back, man.
And this belongs to him.
Remember that bag of pills the Reverend took from Jimmy? Yeah, it was still on the table and they scattered all over the place during the ruckus. They belong to him too. I suspect the police will be even more interested in that than they are in the gun. Though you can bet a trace will reveal that the gun was used in some illegal activities. It and the pills are both known as being caught dead to rights with the goods in your hands. Mr. Taylor George will be just plain old inmate number whatever for the next 20 years.
I guess you won't be having a big opening night celebration for this fancy club here. But don't worry, we'll be very careful with it when we turn it into a clubhouse for the kids.
Oscar said that Lee had been in prison more times than he could count. I suspect this time he'll be staying a while. And Mike is free.
Hey, Mike. You okay?
He's okay. Yeah. Okay.
David helped bring down a major drug dealer, helped Mike make the right choices and put his life and Bobby's on a good track, and set a new record for car engine tossing. His work here is done.
Having foster kids isn't much different than having your own. I'm exhausted.
I can understand that.
It makes sense. She enrolls as a foster parent and the boys can stay in familiar surroundings. More important, they can stay together. And she already goes by mother, so they don't even have to change what they call her.
Hey, got back finally, huh?
Are you leaving, Davy?
Yes, I am. Goodbye, my friend.
Goodbye, Davy.
Goodbye.
If you ever need a job, David, just give me a call.
I'll be the first to do that. Thank you. Goodbye.
With good food and a stable home, they'll both thrive. They might never get rich like Mr. Taylor George, but they'll have each other and they'll have their self-respect. That's worth more than money could ever be.
I wish you weren't going. Remember, we're friends. Brothers.
Brothers. You be good to yourself, my friend.
People who say they don't see color are lying to themselves. We all see it. What's needed is not to care. Many of you know that I grew up in a very racist home. My dad was the wisest person I ever knew, but he had that one big blind spot. I had to make a conscious decision to reject it. I adopted a principle that I already mentioned. People are people. Some are worth your time, some aren't. But you can't tell by looking. You have to open yourself a little, be a smidge vulnerable, and get to know the person. They might turn out to be someone with a huge heart like the Reverend, or they might turn out to be a confused kid like Mike, or they might turn out to be an like Taylor George. There's only one way to find out. Okay, if they have the right accessories, sometimes you can tell by looking. Add up cash, car, and call girl, and he may not be a nice man. that towel Nazi considers it considers that. It's almost as if helped Mike make the right good grief. Mike make, that's not hard to say.